Hello everyone, my name is Kingsley here once again. I want to welcome you to the inherent vulnerabilities of IoT devices. And I'm going to be demonstrating how to use Python to hack and control your smart light bulbs. Yes, I know that sounds crazy, and you might ponder or even wonder why someone would want to hack smart IoT devices with Python, especially the smart light bulb. Well, there are several reasons why an attacker might want to hack and control your small light bulb. Maybe to deprive people, not just people, vulnerable victims, the ability to use their light bulbs when they need to use them, or to even freak people out in their homes by turning their lights off at night. The hackers could also be abusing their skills to hack and control other people's light. And due to time constraints, I can now elaborate on everything that you might want to know in Python today. But I will be demonstrating how you can use Python scripts to hack and control your smart light bulbs. Please also note that hackers can carry out these operations by using all sort of access or by directly interfacing with smart IoT devices. With Python scripts, you can toggle your light, turn it on and off, or even make it turn your preferred color. I also assume everyone in this classes section has an integrated development environment, IDE, and Python installed on their computers because it is pretty common these days. And the IDE that we decided to use in this presentation is Python. I personally love Python because it is designed explicitly for Python and it is very easy to use as well. Now let's dive into the demo, please. And the brand of light bulb that I am going to be using in this presentation is the G-Light. You can identify or recognize the G-Light by its logo. I grabbed my, I'm sorry, I grabbed mine from Amazon. I don't use G-Light, but I'm only using it here for instructional purposes. And before you use Python to hack your smart G-Light, you want to make sure that you have the application program interface API G-Light configured in your IDE, and I'm going to be demonstrating how to do that step by step. The first thing you want to do, what I'm doing right now, is the configuration of the API, the G-Light application program interface on my code editor, Python, just to establish that communication between the program and the device that you are trying to use. Okay, so you want to go to File. From File, you move your mouse to Setting, and from there you go to the program. This is how I named my program, Final Capstone, and underneath there you have what is called Python Interpreter. And just move your mouse slightly a bit to the right. You see the plus sign, just hit that. And you see the search field and just type it. If it's not already on the list, just G-Light, G-Light. So as you can see, it is quite highlighted in blue. Just click on that and move your mouse down and click on install package. So let's give it a few seconds for that to get installed in our code editor. It doesn't take that long, just wait, please. Okay, as you can see, package G-Light installed successfully. So now we can now go ahead and exit out. Exit out. And just move your mouse to the bottom and hit the OK there. So we have our API, the G-Light API configured here. And don't worry, I'm going to explain these codes line by line, but I'm going to skip most of them now because there's no point for me explaining them since I'm going to be explaining them all over again on our Python console. We're going to carry out everything step by step, and I will show you how they actually work. So I'm going to skip this because I'm going to be pulling up the Python console to do this again. So let's skip line 1 and let's skip line 2. Let's move on to line 3 because I'm not going to be doing this all over again. Okay, so import time, which is my line 3. So the import time is used for code parsing execution. For example, if I run this script on my code editor, Python, and I want the program to just pause at least 2 seconds before moving on to the next execution, then this import time will let me carry out that function. Okay, and for example, okay, if you go to my line number 7, time the sleep, in parentheses I have 2. So that means after this 6, it's going to wait for 2 seconds before moving on to the next one, which is 8, right? So let's say toggle means if it's on, turn it off. If it's already off, then turn it on. That's what I mean. So after that function, after that execution, then you're gonna pause for 2 seconds before moving on to the next one. So I decided to use 2 here. It's up to you. It depends on how long you want your program to pause for before moving on to the next execution. Now let's carry out that operation and see how that really works. So let me run my script. So to run your script, move your mouse to the right and just click on that. Keep your eyes on the light and see what's going on. What is going on here? Why is this not working? So let's try to run it again. So I saw, hold on, let's do it again. What is going on? Okay, there's a problem. A socket error occurred when sending a command. That's a connection issue. So you can actually go here and inspect code and see if there's anything wrong with the code. To do that, go to problem. From problem, you see where you have projects error. You click on inspect code. So let's try to move it from project default to default, and let's just click on that. Okay, and let's try to run this again and see what's going to happen. Okay. That didn't work. So you want to, let's try to do that process again. Let's try to install it again. It probably didn't install, maybe it has some configuration issue, but it's troubleshooting. You want to troubleshoot, but from here I can tell that it's a connection. It's a connection issue, or maybe it's also timed out. Sometimes you can just go ahead and just close it and just restart the program all over again. Okay. Yeah, I'm just kind of running it again just to make sure the code parsing execution works. Let's do that. Okay, something wrong. We cannot give up. We got to figure it out. You see, it is quite obvious that this is a connection issue, but we're going to get it to work. It tells you here a socket error code when sending the command. This is how I know it's a connection issue. So let me from here, this is where I have my IP address. So let me try to take this one out because it's not accessing the light bulb through the IP address. So let me try to run this. So if it displays error here, that means if it doesn't display error on my terminal, that means it's not a connection issue. If it does not, if it displays error here, it is not a connection issue. But if it doesn't, that means it's a connection issue. When you see socket, that's a sign that it is a connection issue. Let me try to run this. You see, process finished with X0 code. That means no issue. Okay, but with my API, it's not accessing the light bulb via this IP address. That's where the problem is. But it was just working before I got here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, there's a quite a number of things you can do to troubleshoot. Then you go to your network, and it's probably on the other one. So let's see if we can move it to this one. It's probably on the public network. So connect. Okay. Let's try to connect again. Well, you can always try different things. You can always troubleshoot and see which one is going to fix the problem. Well, let me refer back to my OSI module and see if that's going to fix the problem. I think the OSI modules are physical. So let me go ahead and restart my router to see if that's going to fix the issue. Okay, I just went to restart my router, and I realized that my IP address has changed. That's the work of DNS. So okay, so I run it, and instead of 13 here, so I'm now having 10. So this is my current IP address, and I knew it was a connection issue. That's the work of DHCP. Did I just say DNS? No, that's DHCP. It changed my IP address. As you can see, I have the thing here. So I was trying to connect to my Yearlight with the old IP address, and whereas the IP address has changed, you see, this is the 10 and this is 10 here. So my IP address has changed. So everything should be good now. So I'm going to just, I don't want to make any typo error. So let me go ahead and copy that. Take this old one out and paste the new one in it. So what are we doing? Code person execution. Okay. Yes, it's working. You see, it just displayed my current IP address. That's white. And what color is that? Next one. See, it was 50 brightness level 50, then 100, then red, then blue. Yeah. All right. Good. So that is working. Thank you, Lord. So now let's pull up our Python and let's try to control it from there. So we can now begin to carry out our operations. Now we're trying to control this guy right here, this light. So from okay, so from your light import bulb, first line, you remember I told you I was going to be explaining everything here. I mean, I explained a few, but I did not explain everything. I said I was going to put them up again on a Python count when I get to our Python console and I explain them. So let's close this. So I'm kind of explaining what I didn't explain before. So from Yearlight import bulb, so that line is telling Python that you want to use code from the library. That's what that means. So the next line you remember the next line that was on our code editor, so which is from, can you still remember that, from Yearlight from July, import this is it coming up on my screen? Okay, it's coming out. Okay, okay. Uh-oh. Okay, from July, import discover bulb. Let's send that out. Okay, good. That's working. So what does that mean? So that line of script uh, is telling you that you want to discover light bulbs from the code. That's what it means. Remember, the first one, you're telling Python that you want to use code from the library. And the second line, from GLite import bulb, and that line of script denotes that you want to discover bulbs from the code. So I'm not going to, the third line was import time. I'm not going to explain code pausing execution because I already explained that. I'm a controller of this console right now. So I don't have to use the import time, which is the code pausing execution. I can pause whenever I want to, then I can start back up whenever I want to. So I'm a control of it. So I don't have to use the code pausing execution here. So what's next? So now let's go ahead and discover our bulb. Let's discover the IP address that this guy right here, this bulb is connected to. Okay. So I'm going to say discover bulb. You can say print discover bulb, or you can just go ahead and say discover bulb is they're gonna be able to discover that. Discover bulbs. Discover bulbs. So let's see if it's gonna work. Yes, it just discovered it. Okay, this is the IP address that this light is connected to. So what next? We are going to set our variable. So even with this, let's do something. Let's try to skip variable and try to control this slide. It's not going to work because we didn't set our variable. For example, let's say I want to turn off my light. Or maybe, yeah, turn it off. I'll say turn it off. Bob dot. I'm just go ahead and say toggle. Is it coming out? Yeah, Bob the toggle. It's an error. You know why? Because I didn't set my variable. So let me go ahead and try to set my variable with the IP address. Okay. Boom. Is it coming? Okay, that's coming up. It's coming up on my screen. Okay. Okay, now I don't want to waste your time or make any type of error. Let me just go ahead and copy that IP address and put on that variable. Hold on. Okay. Control C. Okay. Close that out. Sorry. What happened? Then close it back up. Okay. Bob. Okay. That is correct. So that's my variable. So my variable is set, then I cannot go ahead and control it. Let's do something. Let's try the toggle sign first. So this light has been hacked. So I want to go ahead and control it. Bob dot toggle Bob dot okay. Yes, you remember what toggle means. If it's off, turn it on. If it's on, turn it off. So I just turn it off. So it's controlling it right now. So let me go ahead and turn it back on. So I don't want to retype. Okay, don't worry. I'll say Bob dot turn. Okay. Okay, Bob. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. So Bob the turn underscore on. So that's the code to turn the light back on. So I just turned it on. It works. And let me turn it off again. Instead of on, let me just write off there with my function. And I just turned it off. So let's turn it back on so we can change colors and other things. And just hit the top arrow to bring it back because you don't want to retype. Okay. Yes, it's back on. So I want to change colors now. Let's say I want to change to red. Okay. Change to red. Let me just say Bob dot set RGB. Okay, that's correct. Okay. Okay, let me explain this one real quick. R red, G green, and B blue. Okay, so red, let me give it 255, come on, 0, that's coming out, come 0, okay. Okay, let me explain this real quick. So my 255 is for red. So 255 is the highest brightness level of the color that you were choosing, with 0 being no light or 0 light. Okay, black. And it doesn't have to be 255, it could be 200, but I'm asking Python to give me a red light. It has to be the brightness color of that red light, and with 0 being and green has to be 0. I don't need green at all. In case you're wondering how to choose color, you don't know what color to choose, you can just pull up Google and go to color picker. Let's say you can say, okay, color picker, color picker. Okay, let's say you like this particular color, yellow. Okay, and this is the RGB for this color, 252, 186, and 3 with this color. If you tap in this, you're going to get this color. Let's say I want this very color. I like that blue. There are different types of blue colors. So let's say I want this very color. I can just type, go straight to the RGB, 315 and 252. I'm going to get this exact color. Let's say I want pink. I can just say 252, 3, and 236. I'll get that color. So that's how you pick your color. Let me go ahead and minimize that. So I want to change this to red. So I just tapped in the code. Let me go ahead and that's my red light. Awesome. So let me say I want blue. Let me say blue. So let's say I don't need anything for red. 0, 0. I don't want anything for green. So and I want blue. I said, okay, I want blue light. I want to go to bed with blue light. Okay, let me go ahead and so I have my blue light. It's pretty easy. Let's say I want green light. Okay, I want my green lights. My green, red. Okay, 0. I don't want anything there. And for my green light, okay, I want 255. And for my blue light, I don't want anything. Let me go ahead and close that parenthesis. So I have my green lights. So let's say I want my I used green. No, we used blue. We used red. Let's say I just want so let's say I want to study. So I need my white light to study. Just go ahead. 255 255 255 because I want to study any my white light to study. So remember, 255 is the highest brightness level of the light that you were choosing. Let's go ahead and tap that. See, I have my white light back up. So other thing I forgot to tell you is this. You see how this code discover underscore bulbs and function was able to discover the IP address, not just the IP address. It really went deep to discover a lot of things, even the capabilities of this device, my light, were also discovered. Look at everything. The support get underscore prop set the phone, everything was discovered using the IP address. There's no way you can hack into this device without knowing the IP address. Okay, so now you know how you can use Python scripts to hack and control your smart light bulb. Please don't be messy and try to control other people's light, and don't do anything without authorization. Make sure you get the approval before you do anything. So I don't need to seek any approval because it is my light bulb. Okay, so thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next in my upcoming videos.